Welcome to the Pocket. I am your host, Scooter. Here for you guys today, I have my live stream of the Week 18 matchup at Philadelphia Lincoln Financial Field between the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. In today's live stream, we're going to be doing a couple things. We will be talking about this week's games in Week 18, the playoff picture, and things of that nature. Also, I have been working on some of my playoff content, and I will share with you guys some of my ideas. But primarily, we are watching this game between the Giants and Eagles. As you can see, I am a Giants fan. And what I am paying attention to is whether we're going to win or lose. Because if we win this game, who knows how far down the draft board we will fall. The Cleveland Browns lost yesterday and to the Baltimore Ravens, meaning the Giants no longer have a chance to get the number one overall pick. Now, we do still have a chance to get the second overall pick, the third, or stay put at fourth. But if we win, then unless all 4 and 12 teams ahead of us in the draft manage to win today, then we're going to fall pretty far in the draft. So, like I said, we're going to be focusing mostly on the game today. It hasn't quite started yet for me. I don't know about you guys, so I'm going to take a second and just freshen up just a little bit more, and I'm going to get the word out so that we get some viewers in this station. But for those of you who clicked onto this live stream recap or whatever, you can pay attention and follow along, but I will put a timestamp in for when the live stream starts back up again. And we are back. For me, the Giants are about to kick off, or receive the kickoff, rather, at this very second. I'm assuming that's Smith-Marsette, and he fumbles the ball into the end zone, takes a knee, touchback. Drew Lock takes the field. Last week, had 5 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and 4 passing. Do we have anyone viewing? Yes, we do, and we got a like. 3 people watching. Hello. And remember, you can use the chat bar, ask me questions. I'll be asking you guys questions. We could talk about the other games that are happening today. I also have Red Zone going too, so I'll be getting updates on both. Vic Fangio, Eagles defensive coordinator, done a great job this year with this Eagles unit. Really impressed me and many other people with how well they've been able to use rookie quarterback Quinyon Mitchell, Zach Bond, many of the new additions this week or this year and this season have paid off, except for Bryce Huff. Giants give a jet sweep to Malik Neighbors, dips out, dips in, and gets 5 or 6 yards. You know, the Giants' offense this year has been really confusing because for a while there, we wouldn't be able to get Neighbors the ball for like an entire half. And I don't know if he would be getting doubled and then the other team would just back off, but it seems like in the, latter course of the season, as Drew Lock has gotten more comfortable, we've really been able to unlock him, which has been fun. But at the same time, I mentioned our main priority being the draft position, but that's not how the players and coaches are viewing this end of the season. They're ticked off about how this season has gone. And, anyone who's played a sport understands that, you don't really care about the tanking idea or the tanking aspect, but it's the ownership and the management and the coaches, kind of making those decisions and those calls. We're not really getting it as a Giants fan base. We're really not. Last year we got the culture wins. We got Neighbors, but we missed out on a huge quarterback class. I know we were 1 year into the Jones contract, but very tricky. Neighbors in motion, handoff up the middle to Singletary, who cuts back and finds his way for a gain of 4. 2 minutes about into this game with the Giants having the ball, not looking too bad against the Eagles backup defense. Who knows really who is out there? I didn't get to see yet. Then introduce the starting lineup. Normally they do that, but here, I wonder if I put the headphones on. I don't know if you guys can hear anything, but I'm going to see if I can listen to this game as well. Neighbors on a spot route, gets a catch, 6 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson on the field. 2nd and 4. Tyree Phillips is out there starting. Evan Neal's injured. Tracy up the middle for about a half a yard, not even really no gain. Giants line back up. 3rd and 4. At their own 39-yard line. They hand it off to Tracy, who cuts it back. Falls forward. At the very end there, he got like 3 extra yards where I couldn't see him. Man, he is really a lot of people talk about Neighbors and how good he is, and of course he's a monster, but Tyrone Tracy is more than just, a starting running back that you might think about moving on from once their contract year comes up. He's not even like a small running back either. He's about 215, and he really reminds me of Alvin Kamara. He really does. I'm not saying he's having quite the rookie season Kamara had, but keep in mind, Kamara was on a Saints team that Drew Brees, I think Michael Thomas may have been there. It was his 2nd year, possibly, but it was on a good team to thrive. Now, Tracy's gotten the volume, and he has had some productive games, but he hasn't been able to put up the stats Kamara was able to. And that's honestly more of a team stat. It's rare that you get a guy on one extreme where he's so talented and on a great team. It's very rare. Play action, screen to Wan'Dale, who gets 2 yards. The Eagles are not going to allow us to throw screens like we did against the Colts. That's for sure. That's not going to happen. Giants, 2 tight ends in and a fullback. Hand it off up the middle to Tracy. Spins his way for a gain of 2. So, I mean, so far, watching this game as a Giants fan who's not like uber concerned whether we win or lose and just kind of looking for youth and depth and what our future is going to be. Tracy looks good. Neighbors, obviously, doing his thing. We know how good he is. Wandale, I'm not sure if we should even keep him. I understand he was a second round pick, but that doesn't mean we have to sign him to an extension. I think we can get a guy like him much later in the draft. Like, take, for instance, the Dolphins this year. I believe it was the 3rd round, but it might have been the 4th or later. They got Malik Washington, and he looks pretty good this year. Honestly, better than Wandale, and he's a little bit bigger, but he's got a little bit of those Sterling Shepard vibes to him. Sterling definitely better than Wandale was. So I never really understood that Wandale Robinson pick. Fourth and 7, the Giants are lining up to go for it. We are, yep, at the Eagles' 49-yard line. This is kind of a tanking decision. Looks like they are just trying to get him to jump off sides. 15 seconds on the game clock. They snap the ball, lock in the pocket, throws it left, and it's broken up. He was going for Slayton, broken up by Keely Ringo. Well, I guess you take a risk at midfield, trying to get the ball past the 50-yard line, and doesn't work out. Well, that was a tanking decision right there. That was not a good call. Stroud just threw a touchdown to Nico Collins. For those of you interested for fantasy purposes, that would be me. Nico Collins took him in the 2nd round. I got clowned for it. He's been a beast this year. Even though he was injured and missed a couple games due to the hamstring. Trey Lance is in for the Cowboys, and he completed a nice pass on the move to Jalen Tolbert, who took it upfield. On their own 44, completes another one. Is that Turpin? They are moving the ball against this Commanders defense. Trey Lance looking very good right now. Oh my God, but he misses a slant and it's almost picked off, and it's 4th and 3. It's like they're going to kick the field goal. Wonder if Trey Lance finally decided to lock in. I mean, what's up with his hair right here? Doesn't know where it wants to go. See, when I look in the camera, it's all backwards too. Get it out there. There we go. I'm doing my best to keep looking sort of at the camera, but I have to watch the game too, so bear with me. I've also got some food with me, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. Yeah, it must be cold out there. Probably like 20 degrees. So let's do a quick score check. And I might actually move this over here. Yeah, I like that better. Get my stream up here, and I'll get my Tanner McKee takes a snap on a bootleg, and he's got Goddard. I thought he was on injured reserve. Dallas Goddard still out there. So that's your starting tight end playing in this game. Kind of strange. We got 3 viewers in the chat. How we doing, guys? Anyone still going for a fantasy championship or anything like that, or are we just watching football today? Definitely a tank move. I couldn't agree more. That was something I would do in Madden. Baker Mayfield picking apart this Bucks defense, getting the ball across the 50-yard line. That's McMahon. I'm gonna get this full screen. You can really see. They've already got the ball on our 32-yard line. Got Goddard. Yep. On a little shallow corner route. You can argue whether that's an out route, but see. Yeah. Right there. In the way he's moving. Tanner McKee looking just as good as Drew Lock. And down at the looks like 1-inch yard line, they rule a touchdown. Anaya Smith, rookie wide receiver. I picked the Eagles to win in this game. I know that one dude, 76, picked the Giants because he wanted us to tank the draft stock. I don't know if he's watching, but if that one dude is watching, tell me what you think about this game right now. I am adding you. Sent him a message. They really scored on us, and we have a ton of injuries. So this certainly isn't really our starting roster either, and we don't have our starting quarterback. But it's kind of crazy how easily they were able to score. Yeah, three nice passes to Goddard once on an outside throw, Goddard again on another one, and then Anaya Smith, was it? The Panthers are currently competing with the Falcons. Falcons have a field goal lead, but this Panthers team has been scrappy. Now, this Falcons team needs to win if they're going to have any chance of making the playoffs. But I might also, I mean, I have in the title that this is week 18 as well. But we're just gonna leave it the way it is. Tampa Bay moving the ball downfield with success, reasonable success. Commanders get the ball back. I keep moving my things. That one dude. What do you think about this game so far? I saw you picked us to win, the Giants. You guys scored with ease against us, and the Giants went for it at the 50-yard line. Game's in commercial break right now, for me at least. Yeah, and you know when it's commercial break, I'm definitely going to give you guys the scores of all the other games. Colts Jaguars is tied Unreal. Mac Jones is 3 for 3. Allen Pierce another 40-yard touchdown. I got him in Dynasty. I actually traded away down. So you think the Eagles are going to take an early lead and then throw this game away in the second half? Do you guys have a fourth-string quarterback you can start? Because McKee is doing pretty well. That would be crazy if you guys threw this game against us. I would be lit. I really would be so mad because you hold the number one overall pick, and if like that's what you want, the worst possible thing that could happen is winning the next two games. Like it couldn't go any worse. That's so sick. They're showing the fan who got the AJ Brown jersey for giving the Tanner McKee first touchdown pass ball back. That'd be so sick. I have an AJ Brown jersey. I might actually pull it out just to show you guys. That one dude knows about it. He's trying to be QB1 for the future. Honestly, he looks so much better now. Like, I thought he wouldn't be, like, a bad backup at all. I saw what he did last year, and he was a high pick in the draft. He's got some talent, but he just didn't really work out. But he was a decent backup for the Seahawks to beat the Eagles last year. Neighbors drops a screen, kinda falls on it, thinking it's a fumble. But, yeah, he looks a lot better now. He looked really bad when the it was like week 14 through like 16. The Giants were just like the worst team in football. Is there a Nickelodeon slime time on this game? Is that what I just heard? Bears getting a kickoff return. Lock on 3rd and 9. It's a draw. Like, you're not even close to field goal range. Why are we doing a draw there? Like, getting a little chunk is going to help. You can punt inside the 20 from this distance. Oh my God. Being a fan of this franchise is really something else, let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Maybe I drop my seat just a little bit more. That that one piece of hair is so messed up. I'm just peeling it back, I guess. See if I can kind of hold it there. Yeah. Now we got this. That's great. All right, that's a little better. There you go. Now you guys have your quality hair for your broadcaster, commentator, host, whatever you want to refer to me as. I fix my hair for you guys. That's what I do for you. Michael Penix Jr. is out there. He's got my guy Bijan in the backfield in the pistol. Penix takes the snap in motion. Bijan takes the handoff, stopped for no gain. I could also pull up my fantasy teams and see how those are doing. That was a video I was thinking of doing in the off season, but I kind of realized it would have to be during the regular or at the end of the regular season, which is like conflicting with playoff times. I was gonna do like a fantasy report card. How did I do this year in best best ball, dynasty, and redraft? I did all three this year, and I could share with you guys I had a great amount of success this year, large in part due to some of my most drafted players, like Josh Jacobs. He was my most drafted player by a mile. I think I had him in like 4 or 5 different leagues. And like I mentioned, I had like 7 or 8 maybe, including the best ball, 5 redraft, 2 dynasty, 2 best ball. So 9 teams. I definitely had him in 6 of those leagues. I had him in 1 best ball league. I had him in 1, 2, 3, maybe it was 4, but I had him in quite a bit. Brian Thomas Jr. I had in like 3 leagues, one of them being a dynasty league. So that's money right there. Also got Lad McConkey in that one too. I went RB heavy and then said, all right, this is the best wide receiver class ever bet. Let me take all the rookie wide receivers after going robust running back, and my dynasty team will be sick. I made the playoffs, but I lost first round. But it's a good start for the team, for the squad. The other dynasty league is not doing good. I went hero. A huge mistake. It was Pacheco. Got injured. The key dumps it off to Goddard again in the flat, takes it upfield for about 12. Kind of crazy how much ease the Eagles are moving the ball against this. But I mean, Avon Thibodeau was on the field. He was applying pressure, and he could not swat away the ball. But I'm just saying, like the Giants starters are out here. Dane Belton, he's a rotational guy. 54 Johnson. Not even sure who that is. Barnes is still out there. All right, so he missed a comeback route, which was the first bad throw by him. Falcons comeback last year, 7. McKee takes the snap, hands it off to Gainwell, tackled for no gain. Man, this is just really a sad season for the Giants. It's the 100th anniversary, and this is the outcome of our season. The Giants have made the playoffs twice in like the last 15 years or so, like since the Super Bowl runs in 20, 2016, 2015, 2016, was it, with Eli, and we had Olivier Vernon and JPP, the defense, Damon Snacks Harrison, Odell, Cruz, kind of a really bad offensive line. And I think we had like, was it like Starclaw or Paul Perkins, our running back? It was those two guys. And we made the playoffs and lost to the Packers first round. They're going to tush push it with Tanner McKee, and we jumped off sides. Unbelievable. But we made the playoffs then, and then we made the playoffs recently in 2022. But other than that, it has been far below 500 every single season. And look at this, Eagles starters and coach all comfortable on the sideline. Last time I live streamed, something very amazing happened. For those who know Rossi, he's a content creator, he's a fan. He does power rankings videos is my favorite video that he does every week, where he kind of goes top 10 style, which I also appreciate. Colin Cowherd does it like that. And honestly, it's it's what most people are interested in, like who are your top 10 teams? It's like you can say about the like 11 to say 25 range, even like scrappy through competitive teams in that range. But I I had my stream going, and all of a sudden I saw so many viewers start to appear out of nowhere. It was like up to 200 at one point, and all the comments were going crazy, saying crossing rate, all this stuff. And what is going on? Like I was so confused, and I came to realize what was going on. So I reached out to him with him and whatnot. It was really awesome. So I doubt that'll happen or anything like that again. But hey, I was just saying that was such a cool thing to have happen on your first live stream. Eagles are now past the 50-yard line. McKee rolls out. He's got space. He misses Goddard. It was low into his back hip. Bad throw. He had him though. Maybe I don't know how the mic quality is. Is it better if I move the microphone right here? I feel like it looks better too. I'm like, anyone watching, leave it in the chat. Does this sound better? Is the audio quality better, or is it too loud? Gainwell up the middle for 5 yards. Drake May is getting beat up right now by this Bills team. That one, dude. I don't know if you're back yet, but I would say I watched your money line picks video, and I want to know if you watched mine. I don't know if we have any differently, but I want to know which ones of these games we disagree on. Yeah, the Eagles are past the 50, and it's 3. They're lining up to go for it. They've got the ball on our 37-yard line. Could definitely kick this field goal, but looks like they called an audible. He takes the snap, hits Goddard on his little zig route. Goddard is just feasting. I had a lot of faith in Goddard. I did. When say for fantasy purposes and things like that, I had a lot of faith in Dallas Goddard. But at the end of the day, he got overshadowed by Adrian Brown and Devontae Smith, and he could never reach his fantasy ceiling. But we see in a game like this how he can truly be like a number one target if he's like the main guy. Might take a little bite of mac and cheese. I'm not gonna spend the live stream eating in front of you guys, but I'm very hungry, so I'm gonna take a little bite. That is some good mac and cheese right there. What a great Sunday snack. All it's missing is some buffalo sauce. And then we're really football Sundaying. Is that an action you can take, football Sundaying? The act of watching football on Sunday? I think it is. It is to me. Some people might disagree with you. They might say that's just your opinion, but to me that is. Texans have a 7-point lead on the Titans. Titans have the ball. Jaguars and Colts are tied 7-7, but the Colts have the ball. The Cowboys have a field goal lead on this Commanders team. What is going on with this Commanders team? Why are they so hard to predict sometimes, I feel? Bears Packers. Bears have a 7-3 lead on the Packers. Packers have the ball. Bills Patriots. Get 'em. Thanks. Oh yeah, you could do. I could have texted you in the chat. Spoke to me a little bit. I got some of that buffalo sauce I was looking for my mac and cheese. Thanks, Dad. Oh man. Uh, hey, it's what I wanted, right? Sometimes life works in mysterious ways. Gotta love it. But yeah, we got the game back on now. Giants might potentially go winless in the division if we lose this game, which would be, oh my God, embarrassing. Got a play action pass. He's got a wheel route to Kenneth Gainwell and missed him. You guys probably just saw my eye do that thing real quick. If you don't know, I have a lazy eye. Check this out. I can control it. Isn't that kind of cool? Yeah, but sometimes when I'm tired or I lose focus, it kind of does its own thing. But that's one of my challenges actually when I'm recording is I second guess myself whether I was actually looking at the camera. It's just like you if you're looking at it, you're like, why would you second guess yourself? Because I have to look at two different things at the same time. I have to individually kind of control my eyes because this one doesn't follow the same rules that this one does. This one just goes wherever I'm looking. This one it kind of lags, I suppose. Usually, if I'm looking in the right direction, it will lag behind. The key rolls out and he hits Goddard low, can't connect. Unfortunate for them. Let's go Eagles, guys. I want to screw the Giants over in terms of draft pick. Yeah, I know. I know you guys want to do that, but I, dude, I think we got a better chance to take this game than you guys do. Tanner McKee is moving the ball against our defense. Two Clock's not doing too bad. You guys, of course, could play the second half. I feel like we went for it from the 50-yard line. We're trying a little harder to lose than you are. Oh, but you guys just missed a field goal. Oh my God, it's happening. You guys could have taken a two-score lead here. You said no, we don't want it. Mike, am I safe to assume you're an Eagles fan? I always get thrown off with the timing. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I see your chats. Yeah, you're an Eagles fan. So, what do you think about playing the Packers in the wild card round? Because it looks like they're going to lose potentially, and the Commanders might also lose. But you guys play the Packers. You guys got that game? Damian, thoughts on Damian Pierce? That's the Texans running back. Is he even still on their roster? Damian Pierce. Yeah, he's still there, but they don't use him though. I thought he was a beast his rookie year. I did. I thought he was like Marshawn Lynch. He was like actually a powerful runner who was really hard to bring down. He was like cementing himself as like he's like one of the best. He's gonna be one of the best power backs over the next like 5 years. But then I don't know if it was Bobby Slowick's scheme. He's him. I thought he was, yeah, I thought he was, but they changed scheme. It's more like outside zone now. Check the box score of the Texans Titans game. Are you telling me Damian Pierce is? Oh my God! What did he? What did he do? 2 carries for 93 yards and a touchdown. Hold on a second. I'm going to Twitter. 92 yards, Damian Pierce. Oh my God! Up the gut. Takes off. Oh my God! That Titan safety got absolutely cooked. Oh my God! Why did he look so slow chasing him? But Pierce he's pulling. He almost got caught. He did get caught by the corner, but you don't need your power back to outrun corners. I always thought he was like good. I don't know what happened. Like last year with Singletary, and I'm pretty sure they've had Cam Akers in here at one point. I don't get. All right, well since my dad put some of this buffalo sauce, I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna take another bite. So if you'll please take a bite of this mac and cheese. Neighbors again. Second most catches by a rookie all time. Only guy in front of him is Brock Bowers. So what you're telling me is if Brock Bowers didn't exist, Malik Neighbors would be the all-time rookie uh, holder of most receptions. What an unbelievable rookie class this has been this year. Very transformative. We hit Wandale short of the six, and he can't get more than a half yard after contact. See, and that's he like leads the NFL in catches on third down. But this is what I don't understand. He's proven game after game, week after week that he is the, and I've said this, he's not the guy to break yards after contact. He'll make you miss, but the defense is not backing off. They're not afraid. They punt to Dane Belton and he gets it. Oh my God. Not a tanking move. I mean, kind of because you're taking, but he got a direct snap. He was offset to the right and he took off towards the edge and he got it. Nice play call, I guess. Empty the bag, yeah. Empty the bag of tricks. It's a good saying. It's a good narrative to say too. Empty the bag of tricks. Teams are going to do that in week 18, and that's why weird stuff happens, especially the ones who are eliminated from the playoffs. My money on this year has been very accurate. I don't know how the season has been, like Vegas, to see if it's been like an easy year or not. But I've done very well this year. I had 175 correct before this week, if my count is correct, right? I'm gonna do it again, the count at the end of the year. I mean, that's something that I had to be proud of as a creator for you guys. That when I'm picking these games, like, I really want it because I want to give you guys some quality content. And hey, I can put the same amount of time next year and not have the same accuracy, right? I feel so lucky, but the fact of the matter is that you guys can say, hey, he was pretty good. He was pretty good for the game. So you have that as a smaller channel. I have to have some sort of quality to present to you guys as this is what I'm good at, right? Why you're coming to me to watch this with me and to learn why I'm coming to. So as of now, that is going to be my thing going into next year. Of course, there's playoffs and all that kind of stuff, and I can't wait to apply the same logic to the playoffs and see if I have the same level of success. But Giants are in 4th and 1. On the Eagles 40, 45-yard line. They hand it off up the middle on this penetration, but Singletary gets it. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. As I was saying, as a creator, there is so many niches, and even when you pick one, there are niches within that niche, right? So this is a football niche. This is NFL. This is primarily Giants, right? That's that's the rabbit hole I burrowed down into. But yeah, I do something great for you guys. So that's where I was going with that for you guys. It's like I really feel like that's a great thing, right? Something with quality food. Singletary up the middle for 5 yards. We're moving the ball. We are making the risks count and across midfield. We are now in field goal range, right? Play music in the stadium. Giants line up. Lock is under center. Wandell in the slot. Third for oh man, that's awesome. My friends just sent me they're watching the live stream. That's awesome. 3rd and 4. Giants have the ball at the 35 or 34. Hand off up the middle to Singletary and he's scooped up. Who's number 90? Is that Jordan Davis? Oh man, he is enormous. And he's gonna go for it again. Oh my gosh. Brian Dable does not care. Bag. The Bears scored another touchdown. DeAndre Swift. They now have a 14-3 lead on this Packers team. Not good for the money line picks. Not good. 4th and 2. Lock takes a snap. Big route. Ready for speed. He's got neighbors. Oh, and he's crushed. Oh man, he's slow to get up. Shaking his head, walking away. God. Dude, hate to see him get hit like that in the last game of the season. I mean, it was inside. Honestly, if that's in the sideline, if that's where that ball is thrown, like Eli to Mario Manningham, that's a completion. To Neighbors, probably he'd get it in his hands for sure. What do we think about the setup, guys? We got we got some signed Giants footballs. Those footballs there at the top. I actually recently just got gifted to me, and they are Giant or Steelers Cowboys Super Bowl signed footballs. Pretty crazy. Then we got the Hinoski jersey to the left of my head. That is signed We got the Giants banner at the top, and then every NFL team right to the left of my head. So you can see all them while I'm talking. We got the Giants clock. I don't have batteries in it yet, but we're gonna get that going one step at a time, brick by brick. It's gonna get better and better for you guys. It starts with these live streams too. You can really gain a lot of viewers pretty quickly with them, and that's the goal, right? The more viewers, the more I can do for you guys. So, and then to the right of my head, up there, that's just a Super Bowl Mario Manningham jersey. It's not signed or nothing, but I got that from my dad. It's pretty sweet. JT is in for a touchdown. He's one of my all-time favorite like calls because I really was on him when he was at Wisconsin, and because he's like, you look at the frame of certain running backs, and it can really tell you a lot about them depending on how they perform at the combine. JT, I noticed that he was like slightly above 6 foot. Or no, not 6 foot. He's like 5'11" and a half. He's like a big dude, and there's a big difference between that and 5'10". Don't get yourself kidding because for things like stiff arms, the length of your arms, he goes into stuff like that. And then he was like 225. Like, wow, dude is huge, right? Because you're like if I took a 215 guy like Tracy and just made him just stretched him out and made him heavier, right? More athletic, more explosive. So once he ran the 4.39 at the combine, I was like, oh my God. It's like everything you need right there. As long as there's no red flags with the 3 cone and stuff like that, that's how you can identify a good running back. Because to be honest, running back, as long as you're not like really, as long as your vision is not a total liability, if you're a great athlete, you're going to be a good running back, right? As long as your instincts are quality. And clearly he had good instincts. He was him up with the Wisconsin. Bad snap, McKee fumbles. Eagles lose like 10 or 15 yards. Tanking move. That's a tank move by the Eagles right there. That was definitely intentional. So against, I hope we lose this game 0-7. I hope it ends. Yeah, Tanner McKee's like 6'6". How do you snap it over his head? Yeah, motion to the right, little mesh concept. We got like 5 or 10 back. Absolutely upsetting season from JT until now. Until now, if you had him and actually managed to make the playoffs, he was a beast. I played against him, and he just about dropped 40 on, and that's when I knew I was probably going to lose that matchup. And whoever did that knows who they are. So thanks for that. Thanks for using one of my favorites against me. But JT he's a beast. I mean, I think it was more the Colts. That one, dude. Like the Colts have had an inconsistency at quarterback because it's been AR to start, and it was kind of a disaster. Then they went to Flacco, and then he didn't work too long. They went back to AR, and he kind of started working again. And then AR got hurt again. It's like no consistency at quarterback. They have a good offensive line. We know Shane Steichen's a good coach. So I think it's pretty easy to kind of blame the reasoning on, the quarterback situation for any lack of consistency from any of their offensive players. Because, like I said, we're not blaming the offensive line or Steichen, and I feel like the weapons there are not bad, but they have a decent cast of wide receivers. It's not the best, but they have enough. Way more than the Giants have. Eagles have the ball across the 50. Second and 3, take the snap and then hand it off. Is that Strickland? That's Strickland? But I do kind of understand what you mean about JT season is until the playoffs, he was like probably like RB30. I actually had him benched in a league that missed the playoffs. I benched him. He had 40. The same week that he dropped it on me. Of course, should have started him because it wouldn't have mattered, right? If he did bad. Play is blown dead. Honestly, the live streams are pretty fun. I wish I gave myself more time to prepare for this one, but I feel like with the additions I've made to the setup and the microphone, doing it on my PC with the webcam, I feel like it looks much better this time. Because the first time I did it on my laptop, it was kind of chaotic. So I had my laptop, and I got my computer, and I'm using the computer for all the screens, and my laptop just for the live stream. It was just difficult, but this place is a lot better, right? It's a lot better than last time. I got the headphones too. I mean, what if I do this? Do I look like a commentator now? Maybe a little bit more. Just a tad. Yeah, and look at that light. Look at that light on my face. That looks so much better. Yeah, if I like sneak in just a little bit closer, that's way too much. When I back up, yeah, it's just right there. Move the microphone just a tad. Now we're a little bit more positioned. Think a little bit closer. I have an idea. I'm gonna try to do something really quick. No, I do not want it. No, thank you. Not what I'm looking for. Not what I'm looking for. Oh, if I have to hear about Saquon and the Eagles one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm just gonna lose my mind, and that's it. We'll leave it at that. All right. McKee rolls out, misses. Is that Calcaterra? Johnny Wilson, number 89. 6'6" wide receiver. He fell to like the fifth round in the draft. Now, it's not like he had the refined skills of Calvin Johnson. All right. Not saying that, but 6'6" wide receiver. See, this is what the Eagles do. They can literally develop him because they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So I honestly wouldn't be shocked if he scored a touchdown in this game. Probably a flag for holding. Will Shipley up the middle. Offsides on the Giants. What we're expecting. What do we think about the title of this video and my preview video as well? Because I made it to win or not to win. I think that's from Hamlet, Shakespeare. You know, they're like holding the skull and looking at it. Not to be. Like for the Giants, I hear a lot of people discuss whether or not the culture are like for us, right? And honestly, you go either way with it. If you think draft pick position doesn't matter and it's just a lottery ticket anyway, then I guess I guess winning would be preferable in that case. But if you're like me and you think draft positioning matters, then you would say you not want to win. So that's where that title idea came from. Try to give you guys some interesting thumbnails every once in a while. I really do. Because thumbnails are they're so the same. You know what I mean? And even if the format is similar when I do it, try to give you guys something a little original. Shipley. Oh man, yeah, cracked by Dane Belton. Like I said, he's like a starter. Love the new mic. Mans keeps love up. Yeah, I know. Doesn't it look nice? And it's blue, so it's like, hey, that's pretty sweet, right? Whoa, we're getting a little laggy here. But yeah, man, thank you, DJ. I am really trying to do what I can and what's in my control to try to make this better. And I've like mentioned earlier in the stream about trying to make more specific content, content that's a little more, geared towards my ideas, if that makes any sense. Because during the NFL regular season, there's so much to cover that there's not as much room for creativity, if you understand what I mean. There's not as much room for me to make something the way I wanted to because I just have to cover 32 NFL teams. I have to, have a summarized idea of all 32 NFL teams for the power rankings video. And I need that same summarized idea for when I pick the games. I need to understand how I weigh them against each other. It takes so much time. Whereas once you get to the playoffs and the off season, I can really narrow in and go down on a rabbit hole for you guys, and then you guys can come along on the journey of how Scooter views football. Because in the end of the day, that is what I want for you guys. I want to give you guys a takes. That stuff's important to me, but my end goal is for you guys to understand football the way I understand it, and learning how I can do that more effectively is what all the fun has been about. So having a great, ending the regular season strong with a live stream. Feeling pretty good about this first year. Man, this is not refreshing. We got some technical difficulties with the game right now. Bear with me while I try to recover. Oh, there we go. I think I got it back. And there it goes. Oh, man. What are you going to do? Am I right? Technical difficulties happen. You just got to persevere, really. It's persistence is the key. You can't let things like this stop you. That's the goal. That's what makes you stronger. Am I right? Also realizing that I say things like, am I right? Way too much. Am I right? I mean, so everyone says so. And then, like, because things like that, that's like an oral communication thing that you start to really pick up on. I took oral comment when I was in college, but doing this is like taking the class like every day. Like I had to do a final presentation in that class where it was over COVID. I had to do it through Zoom. So it was pretty similar to doing it in front of the camera, but doing this, like I said, it was like doing that final presentation 4 times a week. I mean, At least you're doing it about the same thing. The preparation time decreases, of course, but consistency is key. You're right about that. I gotta move this because my chat bar is a little covered by my light. I wish you guys could see what I see from this side. I really do because there's so much going on. I have two monitors, I have the light, I have the webcam, I have the microphone, a keyboard, my mouse. There's just so much. I got like my food that I'm trying to eat. Like, man, this game though is not loading. I'm sorry, guys, but we're just hanging out while we try to figure it out. So that's okay. But yeah, like I wish you guys could see it because for you guys, you're just watching through your phone or something or your computer, and you just see me on the screen, and everything you see in the everything that I see in this rectangle is what you see, but I see like all these other things. It's so crazy, so much going on. It's fun though, it really is. I encourage anyone to try it. If you're in any way committed to what you're trying to do, you will keep going because you will learn that just like anything else, it just takes time for you to learn how to get better at it. All right, really not feeling confident that we're gonna get anything to stop buffering, which is pretty unfortunate, but I can check the scores. Yeah, there it goes again. Buffering, buffering. I don't know what to do. It's not like I can bring this downstairs. My dad's watching too. I can't bring this downstairs to the TV. Oh man, what am I gonna do? My scheme has collapsed. My plan. No. As long as I could get something up, honestly, something to react to and commentate over, that'd be ideal. But because I don't want to like restart my computer or anything like that. That is not the main objective. Not even close. My main objective is just to let it work and the way like it should be working just completely fine, but it just doesn't want to. All right, I've closed out pretty much everything except for the live stream. Oh, I almost accidentally closed it out. So it's just you guys and me right now. We are going to attempt one more time to get this back open. I have the NFL games up too. All right, so right now it doesn't look like the score has changed. It's 10-0 Eagles. Drew Lock is 7 for 10 for 25 yards. There's no way that's right. Like there's no way. No way that's right. Pardon my hiccups. Oh my god. Just keep showing the same play over and over. Well, this is something you learn when you're figuring out how to make these things. You learn how to keep trying to find a solution. And you don't give up. Cracked streams is not up. I don't know what that even is. because I don't have like the Fox app for my computer or anything. Giants Eagles game. Anyone giving live updates? Giants now by Chat Sports. That's just a live streaming YouTuber though. Well, the only updates I can find for the game right now are through Google. So I can sort of update you guys, but until I can figure out some way to pull up this game, because my thing is not working, then I can't really give you guys the live reaction. But like I said, we're just going to keep trying. Yeah, I don't know. It's seeming almost unlikely. But in that case, it is what it is. Beware of many ads. What do you mean by that? Someone told me they saw ads on my videos too, which doesn't make any sense because I don't have the threshold requirements to monetize my videos. So I was like, why am I getting ads on my videos, right? Because wouldn't YouTube, number one, not even recognize the amount of views I'm getting? So like why would you go through the effort? It probably costs some resource to, put the ad on my video, even if it's a small amount. You're probably like not getting anything back for it. And I don't know if when I upload it, there's like something I can click that says you can put ads on this, but like I said, I can't monetize right now. So yeah, Brett, I don't know what you mean by beware of many ads, um, but I am making an effort to try to get this up for you guys. Oh, let me pull this over here. This monitor. What is going on with these ads? Is it on the live stream that you mean? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this what the deal is with these ads. They're ads on my videos. I go to YouTube channel. 30 seconds left. Tanner McKee with the ball. Throws a curl route to Jahan Dotson. He's trying to get out of bounds, but he cannot do it. Yeah, so like if I open this video, is it gonna show me an ad? I mean, I can't see it. Doesn't show me where they would be. I haven't gotten any in the stream. Okay. I didn't know if they even were possible to go in the stream, but well, you know, I can go onto my dad's account and see if he gets advertisements on my video. I don't know if it's just a standard like thing for YouTube to monetize content, but I did not think that was the case. Tanner McKee throws an out route, misses Dotson. What is he doing, man? Well, 17 seconds left. It's 3rd and 10. They lost it 50. Well, if they go into half with a 13-0 lead, the Giants could definitely come back, but I don't know, it'd be sort of unlikely, right? Where the Giants actually lose. Oh, I understand, Brett. Well, I do not see that in the chat, which is pretty bizarre. That link is not in the chat for me. Very weird. But I understand now. They punt, and that's the first half. Eagles up 10-0. Let's get a little score review of other games that don't have a bunch of backup quarterbacks in and only have draft route. Enough of this volume. Okay, so wow, there's some interesting stuff going on. The Panthers are beating the Falcons 17-10 at the moment. And the Falcons need to win if they want any chance at making the playoffs. So they got to figure their stuff out for they do have the ball with 2 minutes left, so they can score before half, but you don't want to lose to this Panthers team and miss out on the playoffs like that. Texans, They are beating the Titans 13-3. Damian Pierce had the long touchdown run. Davis Mills is in there. I guess they really don't need to win, so they might still end up winning that game, but I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. Giants, Eagles, we talked about. Jaguars, Colts. How's Brian Thomas Jr. doing? 2 for 58. This dude is such a beast. Oh my God. He is so good. In the offseason, before the draft, and before the season, before the draft, Chris Sims released his wide receiver rankings, and he ranked it neighbors Brian Thomas Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr. That's how he ranked it. And people call him crazy, but you know what? Right now, it's not looking like it's too far off. But yeah, that's 17-13. Colts are winning that currently. There's 2 minutes left, or there's 47 seconds left. Cowboys, Commanders. Cowboys are winning 6-3. What is going on, Commanders? I hate when they do this. Packers, they're currently losing to the Bears 14-10. So Caleb Williams is 6 for 7, but only has 21 passing yards. The Saints and Buccaneers. Saints are winning that game somehow right now, 13-6. And then finally, the Bills are losing to the Patriots 10-14. Mitch Trubisky's in, and he's not playing too bad. 13 for 16, 78 yards and a touchdown, but looks like they're not moving the ball with too much success. So that's your first half review of this Giants-Eagles game and the rest of the games that are going on currently. As I mentioned, I will have content for the playoffs, of course, for you guys. But I wanted to end the regular season with a bang. So far, the first half was volatile, was up and down. There has been reasonable levels of success, and then there's been some technical difficulties as well. Someone has a question. That one dude, can I get your take on the game, being the Eagles have their third and fourth string players on both sides of the ball? What do you think this shows for Daboll next season if he is the coach? So I did see not entirely backups in there. I did see Jordan Davis was in there. And I'm sure there's like maybe 2 or 3 other guys out there who are starters, but perhaps Sirianni views them as needing the most development or something like that. But for this game, yes, the Eagles' backups are in. And the Giants have some backups too, because we have a ton of injuries, right? I'd say the starters I've seen most notably on defense are Burns is out there, Kayvon is out there, Jane Belton's a rotational guy, he's out there. And then on the offense, some of the offensive linemen, Neighbors, of course, is out there, Wandale's out there, but we got our backup quarterback. So there's that. But I would say you guys, probably have more backups in right now. But I think Giants are making some pretty ridiculous calls so far, going for it on 4th down, fake punting, doing all like I said, they're emptying the bag of tricks. They're doing everything they can, but it's not like they're all like smart football decisions. It's like we're just doing it just to do it. Like we didn't need to run a fake punt. We could have just went for it on 4th down, but we decided to do something a little more risque, right? And it worked, but yeah, so where I'm going with this is I wouldn't even say that this game is a real evaluation of either of these like teams, right? Because as you mentioned, none of the starters are in for either team really. It's kind of more of a reflection of where the team's heads are at right now and how different that is for the Eagles and the Giants, because the Eagles are not trying to win this game for a completely different reason from why the Giants are not trying to win this game. The Eagles are not trying to win this game because they have done so well this season and are so successful. And also, coincidentally, this game for them has no consequence. They're like 2 games ahead and behind the people seated above and below them. So that's their reason. It's that they've had a lot of success. The Giants don't want to win this game for the opposite reason. It's because we've had no success. We held the number 1 overall pick a week ago. Okay. And we beat a team that we really shouldn't have beaten anyway, but we managed to win. And the reality is we're a bottom tier team in the NFL, and we need that top draft pick to replace a quarterback. So we want to lose the game for a draft pick. You guys want to lose it just because it really doesn't matter. But I would say the narrative comparison there is I think the team that actually wants to lose, and I'm not saying the players do, but like the organization, the coach, right, doing all this weird stuff that he's doing, it seems pretty clear to me that they want to lose more than the Eagles do. That's my take on the game. I don't think it's a real evaluation of the two teams. I think we saw that earlier this year when the Giants played the Eagles, and it was not pretty, right? So that tells us all we need to know. There's nothing else to talk about with that, and these teams are in two completely different categories. So that is my very long and extended answer to your question about what I think about this game. As for Dable, I'm just so burnt out on Brian Dable. There's just so much of the credit I give to him hangs on one season, just one. And it also hangs on the fact that he was able to do it with not just Daniel Jones, who was a problem, but a problematic offensive line and a problematic cast of weapons. That is like truly elite ability. I will answer the Saquon question in a minute. But truly elite what he accomplished. He deserved every bit of that Coach of the Year award. And then the next year showed some of the negatives. Sometimes not prepared every week, right? We're not the underdogs no more. All that sort of stuff. And then this year, no more needs to be said. He's not been good. But I feel like part of it's got to be Joe Schoen, right? I mean, Dable's in the draft process as well, but Schoen pulls the trigger, signs the contracts. I feel like Schoen is more to blame, but unfortunately for the Giants, the guy who's more deserving to stay is probably going to be the one who ends up getting fired. So that's my thought for that. And then the Saquon sitting thing, like obviously going for the record is something any human being would want to do, but from an objective perspective, it's the right move. The risk is so high with the amount that Eagles and Saquon have been running their mouth. It just takes one Giants player to be angry enough to go for a nasty tackle that he has no business going for in week 18 and injuring him. That's number one. Number one tragic thing that could happen. Now, I'm going to assume that wouldn't happen, right? But I'm going to acknowledge that it could. Totally could happen. I'm not saying players actually try to injure other players, but when there's a difference between a tackle that you know is safe for the guy you're tackling and then a tackle you know is not safe, right? But that's not why you're doing it. It's just a different way to tackle. So that sort of stuff could happen to him. He could get hurt, right? And then what if he just gets hurt by coincidence, right? Just a normal football play, he gets hurt. You're looking stupid then because you're running your mouth all year to the Giants about how you guys let him get Saquon, and then how dumb would you look if he got injured because you were trying to get some stupid record instead of try to save him for the playoffs when you're actually going to need him, right? Because if he's really going to be the Christian McCaffrey, he needs to sit and be respected like so and be treated the same way you would treat having a quarterback on your team. So you're resting him like a key core piece of your team, just like AJ Brown. So I think sitting him is the 100% right move. Anyone who would say they want him to go for a record plays Madden with injuries turned off, and they just want the numbers, right? So anyway, guys, I'm going to use this halftime to quickly take a minute and use the bathroom. I'm going to chow down a little bit on the mac and cheese, and I will be back in give or take five minutes or so. All right. So I'm going to put that in the chat, and I'll be back. And we are back. We are back, people. That's right, Dad. Mom's mac and cheese is legit. As legit as it comes. It stood no chance. And now I'm full of energy. I finished my coffee and my mac and cheese. And I'm ready to deliver you guys the best rest of the stream that I can. See if we can get red zone too. And I don't know about red zone. We are in commercial break though. So let's keep going. I'm really liking this. Not really liking this at all. No. I don't know, guys. Might just have to stick with the Giants Eagles game. Might just have to be that. Thank you to everyone who has left a like on the stream. Thank you if you're subscribed already. And if you aren't already subscribed, please consider it. You might enjoy some of my content. I'm going to try to do some more creative stuff for the playoffs. And I did say I would give you guys a little sneak peek, share some of my ideas. I started working on it yesterday. What it is a playoff calculator for teams. It is not just like a power rank for a team. It's geared specifically towards the playoffs. And it's based off of a formula. Okay? Stay with me now. I think maybe you could quantify teams' greatness, such as the Patriots and the Chiefs, who are now the current dynasty. And I think you could quantify why specifically they are so good at finishing the job and winning a Super Bowl. Stay with me now. So, the idea I had was I mentioned before, what do you need to compete with these teams like the Patriots and the Chiefs when they're in their prime and they're in the postseason? You need the 5 main things. You need coaching and culture, right? You need your coach and just sort of your organization's culture to have been to the playoffs, to have experience. That's number 1. Number 2, quarterback. Obviously you need quarterback, right? For not just, and you don't need a B plus quarterback, you need like an A if it's going to be, calculated as such as an advantage. You need a top 5 guy really. Either Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, who actually is number 2 in that list because he's actually beaten Mahomes in the AFC Championship, which to me is equivalent to winning a Super Bowl. That is if you've beaten Mahomes in the AFC Championship, nobody else has been able to stop him from doing that. And other than the Bucks, Super Bowl, he's gone on to win the Super Bowl. Okay. So you need a guy who can basically compete with Mahomes. And I'm not saying that every single one of those matchups between Burrow and Mahomes came down to quarterback, but in the end of the day, the two quarterbacks are dueling. Neighbors catches a screen on 2nd and 3, takes it within the 35-yard line. Giants are moving the ball into scoring position. But yeah, so quarterback's number 2. Number 3, offensive line. Not quite as important as quarterback, but close to it. Quarterback and coaching, I kind of have weighed the same. But then up next is offensive line, because you could have a great quarterback if you have no offensive line. You could even have great weapons. Then you're the Bears, right? And I'm not saying Williams is great right away, but like if he had a good offensive line, I don't think it would have taken him long to develop, right? You need that offensive line to convert short yardage situations with your run game, to give you protection in the passing game and let your quarterback do his job. Next, weapons. Not as important as offensive line, but still important. Look at the Chiefs, for instance. They don't have great weapons. They have Kelsey, but that's it. And they have the offensive line, the coaching, and that's all they need. Offensive line, coaching, and quarterback for their offense. That's all they need. And then you need defense. So that's coaching, culture, quarterback, offensive line, weapons. And then defense is its own one big category because it's much more of a singular unit, whereas the offense can be categorized in this way. No other position on offense is anything like quarterback. Locke dumps it off to Chris Manhertz in the flat, who gets it. What is that, down to the 12-yard line? Giants are in scoring position. But yes, so those are your 5 things. Defense is one big category because on offense you have quarterback is really its own entity. Offensive line is really its own entity. And weapons are really their own entity, right? Weapons all move the ball. Quarterback distributes and takes it for himself, and the offensive line blocks. On defense, everyone's tackling. Everyone has a gap or an assignment, right? Where it results in them tackling one of the weapons or the quarterback or shedding the block of an offensive lineman. So they're all doing the same thing. Wan'Dale Robinson gets it to the 10. That's going to make it 2nd and 7. So the Giants are in scoring position. See, I still kind of get excited when we score naturally, even though I'm like in the camp that I'd kind of prefer to tank this game a little bit. I still do get excited when we score because it's like nice to see the players do good, but it just kind of depends on the situation, you know? But yeah, so that's what the playoff team calculator is based off of. And I don't know how many people are going to end up watching this stream or when it goes up after, but I'll talk about some of it here. Oh my God, jet sweep the Neighbors and he fumbles it, but it looks like the play was blown dead. Maybe there's a penalty. 3rd and 6. Oh, it's an incomplete pass. So since it was in front of Drew Lock and he fumbled it, he didn't catch it. It hit the ground. Incomplete pass. Seems like a smart way to do jet sweeps is from the shotgun, right? So you can't fumble it. But Daboll's not happy about that because now it's 3rd and 6. It's a wasted down. He's mad at Malik. And I said, I want to get rid of Shane and Daboll. It's only because I kind of want to get rid of Shane. And I feel like you got to get rid of both of them. But hey, if there's a GM who's willing to say, hey, Brian Daboll's good enough for me, then yeah, it all depends. So I don't know what's going to happen on Black Monday. And Neighbors catches a drag route and just gets planted into the ground by an Eagles defender. 4th down. What are we doing here? What are we doing on 4th down? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was the right read because you had the guy chasing him in man and Neighbors could have beat him. But if that was cover 1, then you had your robber right there breaking on that route as soon as you started your throwing motion. So I would assume if that was the mesh concept I'm thinking of, that the other crosser would have been open or there would have been a spot route right in the middle. Because if you looked off that robber towards Neighbors, then he would have vacated that area and the spot route would have been open. And that's what's great about having a number one wide receiver that the Giants haven't been able to do for a long time is when you try to look off someone who's in zone, whether it's a safety or it is a robber or a middle linebacker in cover two, when you're trying to look them off, it's a lot more convincing when you're looking them off to Malik Nabers, right? Because, of course, they're going to throw it to him. Let me get a break on this so he doesn't beat us again. But then you go ahead and you hit Wandale on whatever other route there is, or you hit Theo Johnson. And that's how you're supposed to use those number one guys is they affect every passing play because you can use them to influence the defenders. And that's like the nuance of playing quarterback that I feel like isn't spoken about quite as much as it should be because the really elite quarterbacks, they're all using their eyes to manipulate the safeties. And you see Joe Burrow do it all the time when he's navigating the rush and he's scrambling and he goes back and forth, of course, from looking at the pass rushers to looking downfield. But when he's looking downfield, he starts off always looking left, looking right. And, he might make a quick throw here and there. But I think in the end of the day, he knows that you get the most juice out of a play when you do look off someone because you really open something else up. Giants haven't been able to do that. When we had Eli, when we had those Super Bowl runs, we had a guy who could do that as a quarterback. And even in his later years, Eli would do that. He was just working with worse weapons. But we had the wide receivers to pair with him. Depending what our draft pick is, it might not be best for us to select a quarterback this year. It really might not be. Because I don't feel very good at all about even Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders number 1 or 2. If they fall, it's a different story because allegedly they should be taken behind Bo Nix. All right, well, if you're closely comparing them to him that much, then let's go ahead and say, yeah, they can be about as good as Bo Nix. If that's the case, Bo Nix went, 11 to the Broncos? I'd say that pick was well worth it. Totally. Even if Bo Nix eventually doesn't prove to have a high enough ceiling or something like that, because clearly the marriage between him and Sean Payton is working out. He's an older quarterback. He's been ready to go. Kind of like Cam Ward. I believe Ward is 23. Then you're still satisfied with having a guy like him. Like he's pretty quality, right? You could build up the rest of the team while you have him. Maybe negotiate a contract that isn't quite top dollar. And it's not like this guy's Daniel Jones. I would say Bo Nix certainly looks better than Daniel Jones right away. Probably entered a better situation, but if Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward are Bo Nix, then taking them, not including the scarcity around like 11 or 12, like I guess that means if we were pick 8, like if they fell there, yeah, I would definitely be down to take them. But do I want to trade up to take one of these guys? No, because we need those other resources. So that means unless if we like some of these other guys like Carson Beck or Quinn Ewers or Jalen Milroe, then we're like we just might not need to take a quarterback. Who says it's best to do it right now? There's going to be a lot of guys hitting free agency. People have been talking about. I forgot to mention this. Carson Wentz is going to be competitive against this Chiefs team today, or the Broncos, because he's starting for the Chiefs. And honestly, I've always believed in the talent of Carson Wentz. He is what was to me very exceptional at was not consistently, but like evading pressure. He's done a really impressive job evading pressure and making throws on the run, which is what you need if you're going to be a quarterback who's going to improvise and be like elite for you. You need them to be able to do that. Now, he wasn't always consistent. And it seemed like over time, his pocket presence regressed. So did the Eagles roster. Okay. So did their confidence in him and his confidence in their belief in him. They built a statue of his backup. Okay. So what does he do? He goes to Indianapolis and He's a game away from making the playoffs, and the team chokes it away against the Jaguars. That's just too bad. And then I think he went to the Commanders for a little bit, and he started for them, and he had a pretty hot start for them. Before, I believe, either he got injured or they decided to roll with a different quarterback. And now he's been on the Chiefs playing backup to Patrick Mahomes for a while with Andy Reid, who was the master to apprentice coaching relationship to Doug Peterson, right? Who went to the Eagles to be the coach there, who allowed Carson Wentz to break out. There's a lot of ties here that I think are working well for Carson Wentz to potentially have one of these, career resurgences, such as a Geno Smith or a Baker Mayfield. And I'd say his career path is much more similar to Baker Mayfield than Geno Smith. I think he could actually be pretty good. I would be very open to the option of not drafting a quarterback this year, using this draft pick to get a great player, and signing a guy like Wentz and Fields, kind of like the Steelers did, and then just saying, we are just trying to get better. We are just trying to make a better team. Whether we stick with Shane and Dable or get a whole new regime, that path forward doesn't sound too bad to me. So tell me what you guys think about that. I think maybe not taking a quarterback, if we don't think this is the year, is something we're going to have to consider. When we were higher up in the draft, I think it was a little bit less of a question. I think it was just like, yep, let's just restart. Let's just do it now. Like, we have the pick to do it, or we can trade down. This is a good position. We're not in that position anymore, and chances are we won't be. Looking at the NFL games that are happening right now, we need the Jaguars and the Titans to both win. We need the Patriots and the Titans to both win. The Jaguars are 4-12, but we also would like them to win in the case that we win. Titans are looking like they're going to lose. It's 16-6. So they're playing against Davis Mills. It's possible for them to come back, but not looking too good there. Patriots, Bills. I believe the Patriots they were winning. Now it's 16-14. Mitch Trubisky's doing his best. Joe Milton is in the game. Wow. They played Drake May for one snap and took him out. That's really, really strange. Really bizarre. And Joe Milton's having a great day. He's 13 of 14 for 135 yards and a touchdown. Honestly, I'm not even opposed to getting a guy like Joe Milton on the roster. Like, can we, if we're not going to keep Locke, I think you could actually have Locke and Wentz, and I think it would be a little controversial, but you'd be looking for that anyway. You're looking for the best guy. Eventually, one of them will stick. But Joe Milton, look at this game he's having. I mean, he's got one incompletion. He's got a touchdown, and he's got over 135 yards. He's super talented. He's got a rocket arm. And he can move a little bit. I don't think he's the fastest guy, but he can move. Game is in commercial break. But yeah, so those are my thoughts so far, currently live and pending on the Giants' future. That's kind of what I think is I'm really just sick of this team just not having the talent it needs. I mean, you could get a quarterback, and a guy like Milroe might fall to the second or third round, and he might be a steal at that point. You'll let him sit behind Locke, let him sit behind a guy like Wentz, and just say, hey, listen, we might get a look at him at some point this season, in the preseason, or during the regular season, depending on how things go with Wentz. But you can still draft a quarterback next year if you stink. You'll have some capital to move up. And I assume the Giants will trade back a little bit here and there in this year's draft. I think they will. The Giants QB of the future is not in the 2025 draft board. Very possible. Not at the price they're being bargained for. It feels like one of those years where it's really just the media pushing them up to this number 1 and number 2 spot. And I feel like everyone knows that Michigan corner like Ashton Genty. Like, these are the best players in this year's draft. Travis Hunter, probably the best player in the draft. Giants could take Travis Hunter, and I did not like the idea at first because I wanted a quarterback, but honestly, we need a corner. Like, and you could sprinkle him in on offense. You don't even have to like really use him. You have Neighbors. You just sprinkle him in on offense after like 2 or 3 years when he's already learned corner. We throw a screen to Wandale and it just gets blown up. Looks like we had, is that Jalen Hyatt blocking on a screen? Oh my God. What are we doing? That is a bad play call. Why are you having a Hyatt block on a screen? He's like 175 pounds. Oh. Neighbors looking distraught on the sideline. He's not in the game. Neighbors is not in the game. Not good for my fantasy team. Not good at all. And, you know, I benched Nico Collins because I thought the Texans were going to rest their starters at some point in this game. I thought they would take a lead and pull Nico and CJ, but Nico is out there and he scored a touchdown. He's got 14 points right now. Neighbors has got 2. I started McMillan and Josh Downs because I thought Flacco is probably going to be out there. Giants punted away. Well, it's happening. The tank is happening. I hope we pick 4. Like, really, I do. I hope we pick 4. And if just the Patriots or Titans can win, I could say, we're going to take Travis Hunter or we're going to trade this pick. That honestly doesn't sound too bad to me. The Giants just need help. I'm not too opposed to taking Travis Hunter. If we take like Carson Beck at 3 or something, I have not gone through any sort of like draft scouting, player analysis, or nothing like that. I haven't done it yet. I have not had the time to do it. I will do it in the off season. All right, there's going to be plenty of time for it. But with the impression I've got right now, if we take Carson Beck at 3, respectfully, I might have to just hang this up for a couple weeks because I'm gonna be like, what are we doing? Like, is this really our future? We're taking like a quarterback who should be taken far below Bo Nix at 3. People are gonna have this discussion. It sounds stupid. They're gonna drop it. People were talking about Will Levis going in the top 5 in the year of his draft class. And some teams fall for stuff like that. And this is what I mean about Joe Schoen. If he's pinned into a corner at pick 3 and he's got to take a quarterback he feels to keep his job for one more year, and if he chokes and takes a guy there that should not be taken there, dude, it's over. It's another 5 years of this. Another Daniel Jones. Because he wasn't the best draft pick either. He was a terrible draft pick. But he was a terrible draft pick on a struggling team to save the franchise. When Dwayne Haskins was there, they got bold. And this is an even worse situation because you're not even going to have an option but to reach down the board. Unless Travis Hunter is somehow taken in the first 2 picks, which he won't be. The Titans and Browns both need a quarterback, and it looks like the Titans are going to lose. The Patriots could win and end up at pick 4, and it wouldn't matter because the 2 teams that actually needed a quarterback will be ahead of us. Why did we have to win last week? We could have really set ourselves up very strongly for the future if we had that number 1 pick by trading it away. Calcaterra with the reception for 2 yards. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. This has really just turned into like a Giants therapy session at this point. I mean, we've got a 10-3 game almost heading into the fourth quarter. A 3-13 team versus a 13-3 team. AJ Brown's falling asleep on the bench like that. Eagles line up. They've got a tight end on the field. They throw an out route to Dotson. And see, this is what I mean about them. Maybe the Dotson trade didn't pan out the way they wanted it to, but that's a former first-round pick, and he's like their third wide receiver. Him, Johnny Wilson, Calcaterra. There was some other guy who went off on like a Thursday night game when Smitty and A.J. Brown were both hurt. They're just so deep. Like, I feel like the players the Giants are deep with, they're always hoping these players are going to work out. With the Eagles, it's when these players get the opportunity, they're going to step up. It's a completely different mindset. They're showing Saquon Barkley, 47 career touchdowns with the Giants and like 7,500 yards this season. 2,005 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns in 16 games. He actually had 2,000 rushing yards. And this is what I mean with Joe Shane. We could have used the 5th-round pick that we used on Tracy on so many other positions. We really could have. If we just coughed up $15 million for this guy. Which in hindsight is a bargain. It always was a bargain. Just because the market was dry. To me, it's like, isn't that when you can like say, all right, we're going to take advantage of this and not say, all right, we're going to save money, but actually get a great player for cheap. Because you knew if you signed Saquon to an extension, you were never letting him go. You didn't feel that way about Daniel Jones. You structured his contract in such a way that he could be let go of. Will Shipley gets it down within the 10. So let's play this game. If we kept Saquon, let's say we couldn't sign Van Roten and Drew Lock. That's got to be close to $15 million. I think we could have replaced Van Roten. Probably. I think we should have forced Evan Neal to be a guard. I don't know why we weren't doing that, but because obviously his feet are too slow for tackle. Maybe he'll have more success at guard. But Ezeudu is a guard as well. Aaron Stinney, not the greatest, but I'm just saying, I say, okay, we still plugged every other hole. And of course, in the offseason, you're not sure how successful you're going to be at plugging these. So we really went all out on the offensive line, which I think is still smart. But there's just a lot of guys we signed that just like, you're saying, all right, we're saving money so we can get more players. And then the more players you get, they don't help. The defensive redesign, allowing the Martindale relationship with Dable to get out of hand to the point that we let him go. The defense was not a problem last year. It wasn't like the greatest, but it was not a problem. It was fine. It was honestly pretty good. And you let Martindale go because Dable says all this crap to him. And you hire a new defensive coordinator who doesn't even run the same scheme. And I heard Brian Dable on Hard Knocks saying, oh, he was interested in how he was able to stop the run. and have good red zone defense. How different are the Titans players than ours then? Because that is the one thing the Giants have been so bad at is the run defense and the red zone defense. So that's on Dable and Shane, but Shane hired him. I don't even, like I said, we didn't even let go of anyone, but you change up the scheme on the whole defense. Deontay Banks is clearly a better man corner. Clearly better when we're blitzing. So is Micah McFadden. So is Bobby Okereke. They're all clearly better in that scheme. We know this now. And this is why I just want clean house, man. I just want someone who sees what we got and thinks this is so. Like, I'll further elaborate, but I want someone who sees what we got and just recognizes, instead of trying to bring their own system, how can I get the best out of these guys, right? Of course, you have an idea of what you want to do, and then there's whatever your team is best at. And those two are never going to be exactly the same, right? But that's what builds a team dynamic, is that's the range of things you're capable of. But take, for instance, the Lions, when they rebuilt, they went, all right, we are going to draft heavy for like offensive line, and we have Jared Goff, and they wanted to be a run team, but honestly, they built quite like a great passing game too, passively, because they went with an identity and they stuck with it and they kept doing that. But naturally, by osmosis, their passing game just started getting better. But I think we all know primarily they're a running team. So for the Giants, I want someone who can see what we have and think, all right, how can I use this to build it into limiting their liabilities and maximizing their strengths? So I would say number one, we have Malik Neighbors. All right. So there's that. And then we do have Tracy. All right. So you've got two young, promising weapons on offense. You have a below average on their best day offensive line. And then you have no quarterback. But you have an option to take one this year or next year. On defense, you have a great defensive line that seems to be miscoached, mis-schemed, which has wildly inconsistent results and production. Your linebackers are not bad, I would say. Okereke and McFadden aren't too bad with the defensive line. They make a pretty good front seven, or front six, rather. Eagles take the snap, and the flat is wide open. Dane Belton pushes him out of bounds. Giants haven't been able to cover flat routes all year. It's ridiculous. Jenkins, EJ Jenkins, tight end, fourth NFL catch is a touchdown. Unbelievable. 17-3 with the pending extra point. But yeah, so the defense, front seven, I feel like isn't too bad. I guess if you throw, let's throw Newman. Let's throw Drew Phillips into the front seven because he's a nickel, and that's kind of like the base defense nowadays is nickel. But then you go to corner, it's like, oh, Banks, mis-schemed, miscoached, poor development. Not a good one at all. One of the worst in the league. Statistically this year. Last year he was way better. And then we have Adoree Jackson, who's never healthy. Even when he is, he's also feel like better in man. And then you have Cordell Flott and then many other depth guys behind him. At safety, Tyler Nubin's promising. And Jason Pinnock is okay. Dane Belton's not a bad rotation piece, but there's no stud in there. Not right now. Nubin could be a stud, but he's still only a rookie. So the secondary is poor. And the entire defense seems to be poorly coached and poorly schemed. But there's potential, I would say, for the man rush defense. So if I were to try to pick a coach, I feel like Mike Vrabel, the actual guy who did it in Tennessee, might be a little bit better, even if it is a different scheme. You can still build towards that and say, okay, we will be versatile. And now you might be like, you just said. Like, I don't think Shane Bowen really received as much from Mike Vrabel as we anticipated. I thought he was going to share much more of his qualities, and he just didn't. Also, our defensive roster clearly wasn't what the Titans was. But Mike Vrabel, being the head coach, kind of instills it over the whole team, right? With the mindset, kind of like Dan Campbell. Shane Bowen was not going to do that. This is all assuming we move on from Brian Dable. By the way, I'm not saying like that's the only outcome I'm happy with, but just if this does happen, I feel like Mike Vrabel might not be bad. Build up the team, get a bridge QB like a Tannehill, right? Get competitive first, then acquire the quarterback, which will be tough, but you can afford to move up once your team's already built. You can afford to get rid of draft picks, right? Just to make sure you get a quarterback. So that's sort of the way forward that I see. We're saying hi to the CBS crew right now. Oh my gosh. Time to see how my fantasy team is doing. I'm pretty sure it's doing very poorly because Neighbors is pulled out of the game. Not good. Not good at all. He's still got 5.9 points, but it's all receptions. Jacobs and Bijan not doing too bad. McMillan's disappointing. Really wish I started Nico. Johnny Smith has not played yet. Patriots are back on top, 17-16. Very closely watching. I believe the Tankathon, at least for the top 4 picks, will be settled by the end of these 1 o'clock games. So we're going to watch all the way through that. Because as Giants fans, this is what we're watching for at this point in the season. How's the camera look, guys? How's the lighting look? See, I got light now. It's pretty sweet. It's not coming from my computer screen. Well, that's too much. I got to stay like back here. Got the microphone, that Giants blue. Looks pretty nice. Got the footballs. Not a bad setup. Giants with the ball at the 30-yard line. Hand it off. It's a Tracy. Oh, man. This game really is like a snoozer, guys. It really is. I'm trying to give you commentary on it, but it's just like 3-yard carry after like 4-yard catch, and that's it. Malik Neighbors is back in the game. Let's go. All right, we got 5 wide. Neighbors is on the line on the right-hand side with trips. He breaks through the middle, but we hit Wandale, who breaks a tackle. Oh, my God. Wandale broke a tackle and gets 9. See, that's what you like to see from Wandale. 3rd and 1. Lock got their hands in the fanny pack. Can he eliminate the Eagles one more time? Time will tell. Wow. Little slippery play. He had the hand wrapped around his hip and he spun out of it. You guys probably hear that. All right, we got I formation, which we motion out of. What on earth is this? Heavy left. QB sneak. Lock gets it with ease. Yeah, the announcer said it himself. A lot of words and a lot of motion for just a QB sneak there. We got Barney in the stands at Lincoln Financial. You'll love to see it, I guess. Go ahead, give the Eagles another win. Let them be 14-3. Who cares? They're not moving up or down. Doesn't matter. I'm not playing spoiler for anything. That was last week. Just had to spoil one team and move from 1 to 3. Still a little salty about that, but it is what it is. Wandale heading back out on the field. Slayton and Hyatt to the left. And who is solo on the right? We got Manhurts, Wandale, and who else? Wandale with the catch. He's gonna get got like 6 or 7. He was tied up there for a second. It was making me nervous. The announcer's talking about how we're still playing hard. Oh, dude. We sold the pick for a win against Joe Flacco. I don't know. You guys can tell me what you think, but I was not a fan of last week's win. I was feeling pretty good holding the number 1 overall pick. We never get it. I don't know if we've ever had it. Maybe decades ago. We had number 2 the year we got Eli, and that was only because we forced the trade with Phillip Rivers. We're going 4 wide and 5 wide a lot in this game, and I like that. Oh my God. Locke was avoiding pressure, and he hit Wandale across the middle, who dropped it. Nobody was on him. What is going on? What? Oh, I picked up Texans defense. Let's go. Yes, sir. They got a strip sack return for a touchdown. And it was a big man, too. Neighbors solo on the right. Locke pump fakes to the left. Lobs it to Neighbors in the hole shot. And he could not be tackled. He's in. He came back in the game and scored. 45 yards. Oh, he's talking to the fans. Wow. He went from having 2 touchdowns on the year to now he's got 5. Wow. Look at him keep his feet in bounds. And stick the ball out to cross the plane. What a great play. And Drew Lock looked left, looked off the safety to the screen. That set that play up because that deep safety was getting ready to chase that side. And it pulled Neighbors or gave Neighbors a space, right, to fade towards the sideline. And that guy hit Neighbors in the gut and just Neighbors just bounced off of him. Stayed on his feet. Excellent balance. How many points does he have now? Man, if I started Nico and Neighbors, would be nice. That's too bad. I did take Neighbors in the 4th round in an 8-man league. There were keepers, so there were some players off the board, but yeah, he's got 17 points now. He's gonna finish the year as wide receiver 6. That's what he is right now. He's got 18 points per game. His playoff stretch is impressive. 24, 14, 36, and 17 right now. I mean, he was a little cold throughout the middle of the season, weeks 7 through 10, and then of course it was the weeks he was injured, 5 through 11. Oh my gosh, he is so good. He's getting kept to next year for sure. He has 2 bad weeks. Not even. I mean, if you consider anything less than almost 14 a bad week, he's had 3 bad weeks. An 11.6, an 8, and a 10.8, which isn't even that bad. Oh, and a 12.4 in there. Incredible keeper. And in any league that I can keep him in, I will probably just keep him because if we get a rookie quarterback, yeah, probably going to be, working closely with Neighbors and they'll have chemistry. But even if there's a veteran guy that knows what he's doing, like Wentz, might actually pan out really well. Now, the one thing with Wentz is he tends to have some sort of locker room issues. Like people don't feel like he's a great leader, which I can kind of see that, but I don't know. It's a rental, you know. You don't need to be committed to him long term. So the Giants narrow the margin with 3 more field goals. My prediction for this game could be spot on. I predicted the Giants to lose 20-16. So if the Eagles get another field goal and the Giants get 2 more field goals, then my score prediction will be satisfied. Giants line up to get the kickoff. Graham Gano sends it. It's caught at the 6 or 7 yard line, and he's tackled at the 25. That was Ainias Smith on the return. Neighbors has a 1 reception lead on Brock Bowers for most receptions for a rookie in NFL history. 109 receptions. He is such a beast. He is going to be so electric next year. He really is. Eagles line up in the I formation. They pitch it to the right. It's Shipley. He cuts back, and he's tackled for a loss. Eagles might try to throw this one, man. I'm serious. I hope they get into field goal range and extend it to 2 scores because I don't want to win. Look at Slayton on the sideline. He looks so sad. Yeah, I know, man. That's me too. You're a depressed Giants fan, just like Slayton. Neighbors looks kind of mad too, even though he just scored and he's having such a great year. He really is like he's got that like Ja'Marr Chase potential. I don't care what anyone says. I've seen enough. I mean, like even Ja'Marr Chase had Higgins to compete with, but Malik missed 2 games. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games with over 10 targets. It's insane. It's like most of the games he played. And like I said, there were 2 games he could have played that he missed. That Eagles game was bad. Oh my God, Giants get the rush. And it takes 4 Giants to sack Tanner McKee to the ground. 4th down. Giants are going to get the ball back in 9 minutes. Well, the Giants are going to have a chance to tie this game or maybe even take the lead depending on how much time they take off the clock. It's a line drive punt straight to Smith Marset, who takes it up the middle and cuts back. He breaks a tackle, and he's down to the 36-yard line. So with 8 minutes and 53 seconds, the Giants are across midfield, down a touchdown in scoring position. Drew Lock certainly looking to do his best impression of himself and have a comeback victory versus the Eagles. Down 2 scores in the 4th quarter. The Falcons are really choking, aren't they? 24-24, Bryce Young Throws a dot to a slant. Who is that? David Moore. Just ridiculous, man, this Falcons team. All this hype and all this potential, all for what? For nothing. All for nothing. They switched too late is what happened. That's what happened to them. They should have realized what was wrong with Kirk. With his Achilles, you know? Clearly, he's not the same guy, mobility-wise. And he already wasn't very mobile. Packers are losing 20-13 to the Bears. This will be disastrous for them if they lose this game. Same thing for the Commanders because they're battling for the 6th seed and a right to play the Rams instead of the Eagles in the first round. And I think the Packers would definitely have a better chance of beating the Eagles, but I think they would just prefer not to play them. I think they would prefer to play the Rams. It should be great. I feel like that playoff matchup happens all the time. Packers-Rams. I feel like it happens every 2 years, every 3 years. Baker Mayfield is losing to the Saints. This is a crazy Week 18 so far. And he throws a dart to Mike Evans on 2nd and 13 to get it within 3rd and 5. Unbelievable, man. Unfreaking believable. The Bucks are losing. The Falcons are losing. It's like nobody wants these playoff spots. The only team that's winning that like kind of needs to is the excuse me, who's the Texans. That's who it is. And then the Broncos, like I said, they play the Chiefs. The Broncos play the Chiefs at 425. And they might lose that draft position. Or they might lose their spot in the playoffs. Giants with the ball at the 38-yard line, and there's a flag. Dable is cold out there. Joshua Izwedu. Is that how you say his name? I've heard people say Izudu and not Izwedu. Pitch to Tracy. He gets like 8. Nice gashing run up the B gap or so. B gap or C gap. Nice little cut there. And we are buffering. What are we going to do here? So we're going to be neighbors again. Oh, I see Hyatt solo on the right. Another flag. This is the type of stuff I just can't stand, man. Like you guys have no idea how excited I am to talk about the draft and not what's going on right now when it comes to the Giants. You understand this, right? I wonder if I move my camera like just a tad. Just like a little bit closer. It might be better, it might be worse. My mic is a little bit more obstructive, but I can move it like that. I'm just trying to make it so that it's a little bit easier for me to look at you guys. Play action, Williams. dishes it off to DJ Moore, who takes it up the right sideline. That was to make it 20-13. 21-13. I had the Bears covering in this game, by the way. Just so you know. I might have to focus more on the spread next year. I know a lot of people like it a lot more. Money line's a little... He hits Wandale, who gets planted into the turf. They're doing the... I feel like if I sit like this, it's a little more forward-facing, but still got to look over at this one. This one being this monitor. 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Lock in the gun on 3rd and 7. Trips left. Slayton solo on the right. Tracy in the backfield. Locks takes the snap. Neighbors across the middle. Lock avoiding pressure. Throws it off his back foot. And he wants to go for it. Dable upset. Said Neighbors was probably open. I think he was. Well, what about Slayton? Maybe sort of open. Yeah, it looks like they're going to take the field goal here. Neighbors breaks, finds space. I mean, someone would have broke on him, but could have got the completion. All right, so we're kicking a long field goal, so we could be one step closer to my score prediction. Giants quick snap it, and Gano drills it. Nice kick by Graham Gano. Looks like I might have been on the money with this score prediction here. Wow. That barely made it. What a nuke. Going live is such an interesting experience, too. It really is. And you know what I haven't done in a minute? I haven't checked my analytics for my videos. I wonder how they're doing. I love looking at the YouTube analytics. Wow, it's really going. I really put a lot of work into that score predictions and playoff video. I'm really happy now that the score predictions videos I'm going to be doing now are going to be much more geared towards, relevant stuff. It's going to be playoffs, and people, they want to know what's going to happen, right? And they want to place their little bets for the Super Bowl. They want to hear people's takes. So I got a bit of a system now. Got a little YouTube notification. See Sports Fan Entertainment. He's about to stream Titans game, the ending, right? Maybe a reaction. Yeah, and I'm thinking of a lot of ideas about how I'm going to approach the regular season next year. Kenneth Gainwell takes it up the middle. Darius Mussau makes a tackle. We're going to be below 7 minutes by the start of the next play. Banks is still out there. He's playing way off. Tanner McKee really going to win this game. Dumps it off to Gainwell. Oh, my gosh. Running back is such a tough position, man. You take those dump offs,
and there's just like 3 dudes crashing down on you. And you just have to like tuck the ball, pray to God you don't fumble, and try to get past or through them. That's why those running backs just wear down so much over time. They talk about that age cliff that Joe Shane was saying. Wow, looks like we got a tush push here. Tanner McKee. Looks like he got a cross for sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely got it. Now they're going to be we're already going to be under 5.5 minutes. So this is happening. This is happening. Giants are currently losing this game. Probably going to stay that way. After this, I'll probably quickly record my Giants reaction so that I can immediately start working on playoff stuff. I'll have this up for you guys tonight. Can't believe I benched Nico Collins. I mean, Stroud wasn't supposed to be in, so I keep trying to see the scores. And Panthers are winning over the Falcons. Texans are beating the Titans. Colts, Jags is tied. Commanders, Cowboys. Commanders are winning. Bears are still beating the Packers. Bears have the ball too. Bucks are still losing, but they have the ball. Bills are losing, but they have the ball. So I'll close out the stream with like a witching hour of the 1 o'clock slate before I start working on the other video. See, and this is what I mean about resting your starters. The Eagles' offensive line served as the scout defensive line. Like it's like a joke. You know what I mean? Like you're that's happening in practice. You're laughing. Jet sweep to the right. Is that Dotson? Maneuvers his way to get the first down. It's like a joke, man. It's like it's not serious. It's too easy. It's too fun. All your starting players are laughing on the sideline this Sunday. Flott looks like he's injured on the play. Bro, Saquon's wearing a shirt. Says, how about them boys up front? Talking about his offensive line. Honestly, that's a respectable diss of the Giants. So we never gave him an offensive line like this. So no wonder he was never able to have anywhere close to this level of success. I didn't realize that. Let me stuff that in real quick. About as close as that's going to go. Three minutes left to determine the Giants' draft pick. Sorta, kinda. We're still going to stay tuned for the Titans game and for the Patriots game. The Browns have already lost. To win or not to win, that is the question. This light is really blasting me in my face right now. But I hope it looks, good for you guys because that's why I was sitting like this before, working much better. All right, McKee in the shotgun, 2nd and 14 on their own 48-yard line. He takes the snap, drops back, dumps it off to Gainwell, who spins and finds his way for 3 yards, and he got mangled on the way down. So it's going to be 3rd and long. Oh, please get into field goal range and kick a field goal. Please let my score prediction be close. Wow, McMillan scored. Hey, I started him over Nico. How long of a touchdown was it? It might have been the smart move to start him then. And Downs has 17. Yeah, McMillan has 19. Yeah, they all outscored Nico. So how about that, huh? You like that? Yeah, that's playoff starting right there. That's a playoff fantasy manager right there. I made all the right moves this week except for Andrews is probably going to outscore Jonnu. Achane is probably not going to have the greatest game. But, yeah, Downs ended up being the right start. So, all right, it's 4th down. Looks like they're thinking about going for it, but we'll just have to see. Wow, this is so upsetting for me. Oh, my goodness. Dude, I am projected to have the most points in my championship week, but I'm in the 3rd, 4th place game. Out of all the teams that are competing for in the playoffs, I'm supposed to have the most points in the last 2 weeks. What are you going to do? Am I right? Well, it's still fun to do anyway. You know, if I can get 3rd place and get my buy-in for next year paid, that'd be cool too. So we'll just have to see. I heard some crazy things have been happening on Twitter, and we're going to react to them. We got Michael Penix to Drake London on 3rd and 20 for a touchdown. Holy smokes, what a throw. 31-31 in this Falcons-Panthers game. Anyone who has London having a good day right now. Who am I playing against London? Bucky Irving only has 8 points. Let's see how my one team is doing. Oh, it's going nuclear again. Jordan Love is questionable. Oh, Emmanuel Wilson gets in for a touchdown. What is wrong with Jordan Love, dude? Sustained a right elbow injury during the game. Maybe don't get 400 hung on your head in the semis. Hey, I can't control that. I can't do nothing about that. All right? Maybe don't bench T. Higgins when he drops 40. How about that? Yeah, that actually happened to you. That didn't happen to me. I did everything I had to do. I made one small error, and I could go to sleep at night knowing that. You're pretty close right now. You are. Your game is projected like a 30-point difference, or not even, maybe 20. Yeah, 29 points. That's nothing. That's nothing. This is just the 1 o'clock slate, and guess what? We're going to know by the end of today. So 4th and 3, the Eagles are lining up to go for it. Yeah, this is a tank move by the Eagles right here. This is we don't care if we win this game. Let's just go for it. I don't like this because it's going to give us a chance to win. What is that? That you cannot go in motion like that. Oh, he jumped off sides. Boogie Basham. Dable is livid. He's like, was that just a tank right there? Did we just tank? We for sure that had to be a coordinated effort. That had to be coordinated. That is the most ridiculous circumstance to jump off sides in any football game. All right, it's 2 minutes left. You're past the 2-minute warning. It's 4th down and 3, meaning if you jump off sides, it's a first down. 4th down and 3, and the game's on the line. I mean, you have 2 timeouts, but they're chewing up pretty much the rest of the clock if they get this. And you jump off sides, and you got to see the camera on this guy's face after Boogie Basham. He was smiling. He couldn't help it. He knew there's no way he's not getting like paid for that or something. He looked so guilty. Oh my god. They just tanked. Look, 3rd and 11. They're throwing the ball. Complete. Out of bounds. Tank. This is happening. Who is trying to lose this game? Both teams. To win or not to win. Roughing the passer by Kayvon. This is insane. This is truly, truly wild behavior. Wow. You just completely slats him in the face. See, but he looks mad. He's acting mad, but he's got to be. This has got to be intentional. It's got to be intentional, right? Like, there's no way it's not. And then we get a TFL. We're like saving time though because we're getting all these penalties, and every time they try to run the ball, we're stopping the clock. So it's just oh no. They're doing the script thing. They're showing the replay of the Drew Lock game against the Seahawks. They're doing it. Oh man. Oh, he's mad. He's like, they're taking away my chance to prove myself as the Eagles upsetter. They better get me the ball back. The Eagles run the ball. He chugs forward for 5 yards, following his blockers. 3rd down. And there's some fighting going on. We got Banks in there, Fox, Johnson, Dane Belton of the Eagles, Bernards, Nick Gates, former Giant, getting into a fight with us. What is that about? Come on. Darius Mustafa's in there. Yeah, they're talking about NFC East rivalries and which ones are the worst. I think Giants Eagles might be the worst, to be honest. You got to understand how close together these 2 cities are. I live in New Jersey, and in New Jersey alone, you have the Southwest area, and just the Western area in general. That is almost like entirely Eagles. Like if you like cut the bottom half of, if you cut it down the middle, and then you cut it in half, that bottom left is all Eagles fans. That top right is all Giants and Jets fans. And then in the Southeast, you get sort of a mix of Giants and Eagles fans. Northwest, probably Eagles and then some Giants and Jets mixed in there. That's where it gets a little bit more vague, but it just sort of depends on the area. But these 2 areas are close together, and they don't like each other. They go to each other's games and stuff very easily. So They're very involved. I've been to Giants games over the past 2 years. I've seen so many Eagles fans there when I go. There's people where I live, and there's so many Eagles fans. It's crazy. So yeah, I'd say Giants Eagles is probably the worst, huh? Giants have used all their timeouts. 4th and 7. Eagles call their timeout. They're probably going to kick a field goal. Time for another bite. Mac. Sorry, I don't know how disturbing that was for you guys to listen to, but I hope that wasn't too bad. The mic is very close to me, so try to chew with my mouth closed. 51 seconds. Eagles are lining up for a 32-yard attempt. Looks like my score prediction is not going to happen because the Giants are not going to settle for a field goal down a touchdown. But I will have been surely within the ballpark. Giants really looked like they tried to block it, but they couldn't get it done. It's 20-13 Eagles. Drew Lock said, I know this situation, says the announcer. We have no timeouts in 47 seconds. You would need a truly legendary drive to accomplish this. And you know what? I think the Eagles might let it happen. I'm thinking about it. I need another bite now. Now I'm starting to stress out. This is not good. I can feel it through the force that they're trying to let us win this game. Neighbors is hyped to go back out there. He's probably going to get another 2 or 3 catches. Wandale for sure. Wandale's probably got like 7 catches in this game. Oh my God, Bryce Young has 5 touchdowns. You love to see it. He takes off with the ball. Oh my God, slips in. Bryce Young, yes, has arrived. He is here. And this stands, the Eagles Stadium is just empty. All right, so the Giants have Bellinger, Robinson, Slayton, and Neighbors, along with is it Eric Gray at running back? Neighbors Lock drops back, hits Bellinger in the flat. He gets out of bounds. Right choice. How is that running clock? Yeah. Dude's on the Eagles sideline. Oh, no, it's not. I don't even want to win it. I'm just like, dude, no, it's not running clock. You got out of bounds. Neighbors back on the sideline. They put Hyatt in. Got to be a crossing route to Wandale with Hyatt drawing the safety. Lock scrambles. He hits Gray. He gets out of bounds. 36 seconds left. It's 3rd and short. Very possible. Neighbors is probably mad that he's not out there, and I would be too. I would say, well, what are we doing? I scored the 45-yard touchdown. So what are we doing? Yeah, why is he not out there? Are they saying we don't want him to get hurt? Probably. Probably don't want him getting hurt. Lock drops back, throws a fade on the left side. Picked off. Sidney Brown slides. That's going to be the game, fellas. 20-13. Giants 3-14 on the year. It's officially over. Hyatt. Man, he was looking towards his outside shoulder, and then he looks back upfield like. Philadelphia is now 14-3. They clinched the 2 seed. Wow. So if I go ahead and I look at the current NFL games that are going on, the Titans are going to lose to the Texans. They're down 23-14. There's a minute and 14 seconds left. The Bills are losing to the Patriots by 7. So it looks like they will be falling behind us to pick 4. So that would mean the Giants Yep, it is already registered. The Titans hold the first overall pick. The Browns hold the number 2 overall pick. And the Giants hold the number 3 overall pick. Now, I mentioned, we could take Travis Hunter here or we can trade, but it's just not ideal, right? People would trade a lot more to get to 1 or 2 than they would trade to get to 3. Team below us does not need a quarterback. Jacksonville does not need a quarterback. Carolina does not need a quarterback. Jets do not need a quarterback. I mean, they kind of do, but not. I don't think that's on their mind. Raiders need a quarterback, and look at what happened to them. This could be us. Pick 8. Horrible. Horrible place to be in. I mean, truly. They're still only 4-12. They have not played their game yet. But if they win, this total disaster. Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ridder, Aiden O'Connell are your quarterbacks. That could be the Giants. At least we can do something at the 3rd pick. It's like a lottery ticket, they say, these draft picks, but give me the higher one. Because that way you can truly look at the organization and say you had all these other players on the board and you picked this one and you didn't work out. Well, I'm going to get ready to make the Giants reaction video. I mean, this kind of already serves as it, but I'm just going to sum it up quickly, get that video out there, and then I'm going to get started on my my playoff content. So thank you all so much for watching the live stream. The Giants hold the 3rd overall pick. Most likely 2 quarterbacks will be taken ahead of us, and then we will be left scratching our heads. So if you did enjoy, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you aren't already, and leave your thoughts in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.